And so 56 hours into this week's fast, that's where I am right now. And if you're here and I am thinking with you, man, this is actually getting a little easier. Have you noticed that the hunger starts to quiet down, that the focus gets a little sharper, that your body feels a little calmer? That's not your imagination. That's not you just getting used to it. That's your biology. And your biology is changing. It's changing strategies. At 33 hours, we talked about the transition point, when your body hands off from what you just ate to what you stored. At 56 hours, right here, right where we are, you stepped into a new neighborhood, the adaptation zone, where stress becomes strategy and discipline starts turning into design. Hey, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. If you're new to me, that's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I am here because I want to help you have the success in your health just like you're having in other areas of your life. So you can show up for those things that are so important for your family, for your friends, for the dreams that you have put so much time into. You don't need superhuman strength. You need a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow. And you need the support and the motivation and encouragement to keep showing up one day after the next. Hey, if you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that I am excited that you're here in this space. If you do have questions, go ahead and put those questions into the chat because I want to answer those as well. Make sure you put a Q and a colon in front of those so that we'll know that those are questions that we need to get to. We've got some good things here, right? I've got my monitors off to the side. I've got my Dexcom Clarity Report, which you'll see right below me. And we'll take a look to see what's been going on with my blood sugars. We'll talk to our community. Well, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. But before we do that, let me remind you that if you are new to the channel, if you're new to this area, you just want to make sure that you jump in and get started and see the things that we're doing. What is the path that we're on? How we're having these amazing results? There is on the channel a Start Here playlist. And you just want to walk through that, go through those videos that will help you know what is the path that we've been using to achieve these incredible metabolic benefits that everybody's seeing. If you want to know what's going on this week, right? This week right here, what are the topics that we're talking about? You can go to the channel and you will see this week's videos. Now, if you're watching this on the replay or it's another week, then it won't be in this week's videos, but that will be the videos for this week. Make sure you get over there. And as part of our health action plan, right? Remember, that's the functional health arm of Limitless Living. We want to make sure that you are moving. We cannot improve our health. We can't have lasting health unless we're moving. So let's go ahead and let's take a listen to that campaign promo right now. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. All right, so make sure that you are joining us every morning. Every morning we've got an episode coming out, so make sure that you get there and that you are plugging in. Remember, everything is designed to help you last through what you are doing right now in terms of making your health better and for you to be able to do that over the long haul, okay? So let's go ahead and let's hop in. I'm going to do a quick check-in as we talk about what's going on in our bodies. Because remember, your body is actually the best the best indicator of what's happening. All the things that we're tracking, all the things that we're looking at. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that. And I usually, when I am doing my check-in, there are three areas that I want to talk about. That's how I'm feeling physically, how I'm feeling mentally, and how I'm feeling emotionally. So how does my energy feel? And that's where most people talk about when we're talking about physical. What is the energy like? People will say, hey, I feel as though I'm walking through mud. I feel like so I'm hitting a wall. And right now, my energy is steady. I don't feel heavy. I don't feel drained. I don't feel as though I'm carrying a weight around me. I've been doing a good job of resting, and so that plays a big part in how I feel. So if you're out there and you're feeling some of those other things, then the question is, what is causing it? How do we go about identifying what's going on and what's causing you not to feel steady, not to feel as though you're energetic? Because at this point, 56 hours, oh yeah, lots of energy that's coming out. Okay, and then how do we feel mentally? Are my thoughts flowing? Do I feel fuzzy-headed? Do I feel like although I'm in a bubble, like some people will say? And right now, I am not feeling that way. Does your focus feel sharper than it did on day one? Does it feel wobbly? And right now, I am feeling sharper than I did on day one, right? So we did our 33-hour check-in. We're doing our 56-hour check-in. And right now, in terms of my thought process, oh yeah, I'm feeling clear and I'm feeling sharp. And then finally, how am I doing emotionally, right? Because mood plays a big part in the fast. The fast affects the mood, and the mood affects the fast. And so, are you calm? Are you restless? Are you peaceful? And right now, I am not irritable, which is what some people will say. I feel more grounded. I feel calm, and I feel peaceful. Okay, so anytime you want to make a change, anytime you want to see how your body is responding to something, see how your health is responding, you want to make sure that you're doing a check-in, just like we're doing, and looking at those things that are indicators of what's going on. Okay, if you didn't watch our show from last night, the 33-hour check-in, make sure you go back and you watch that. That's the transition zone, and we'll mention that again here in just a little while. Okay, and so now let's go ahead and let's hop over. I want to take a look at what's going on with my continuous monitors and my CGM to look at those numbers. Because those are another part of the check-in, right? So what's going on physically, mentally, and emotionally, and then also what's going on in my body physiologically, what's happening in that space. So let's take a look. This is my Freestyle Libre, and you'll see right there that it says that my blood sugar right now, right there, is 63. 63 is what it is, and if we look down here, you'll see this is my graph. Let me grab that. Here's my graph. And I just put my finger on that, and we can actually look to see what's been going on with blood sugars. And so for the first part of the day, you see that the blood sugars were above 70, and that's the white part of the graph. And then right there about, let's see, what time is that? Oh, right about 1-ish, 107 or thereabouts. It dropped below 70 and kind of basically remained below 70 for most of the day. One point right here, it popped up right at 70 and then went back down below 70. And then for the most of the evening, it's been hanging in that range to where we are right now, 63. Okay? And then looking at the reports, I like this report because I can look at my time in range. Once again, we're looking at this group of numbers right here, and so you'll see 93% of the time I'm in range, and then 7% of the time, this is over the last 7 days, I've been low. And that's been over the last couple of days because that's when I've been fasting. Okay, if I look at the 14-day, the 30-day, and then of course the 90-day, you'll see I'm in range 87% of the time. I'm below 70 13% of the time, but if you add those up, that's 100%. Okay, so 100% of the time I'm either in range or I am low, and the lows tend to happen when I'm fasting. Going backwards and then looking at my average blood sugar, and we're looking at this line right here. My average blood sugar for the last 7 days is 95, 14 for, or 96 for 14 days. There's my 30-day, and then here is my 90-day average. And the reason the 90-day is important is because that's where our A1C comes from, right? So 90-day average gives us our A1C. And what I love about this is I can actually look at my graph over the course of the day, look at my blood sugars, and you see there that it breaks it down based on the time of the day. And what I like about that is that I can make decisions about what's going on and what I do based on what's happening with my blood sugars at particular times. Okay, so now if I get out of this one, and then let's get over to my Dexcom. And so my Dexcom says that my blood sugar right now is 70, which is pretty close to what the Libre says. And then coming down here and looking at my blood sugars over the last 12 hours, you'll see kind of a similar trend, right? So right in this area right here, similar trend to what we saw on the Libre, and blood sugars in the 90s, 90s, 90s for most of the day, and then dipping down, going below 70 a few times, but just straddling that 70 line, and then later in the evening, just right at 70s, low 70s to where we are right now. And then, of course, looking at my report, this is my clarity report, my average blood sugar of 105 with a glucose management indicator of 5.8. So if I were to get an A1C based on these numbers, I would expect it to approximate a 5.8. But looking at the 90-day, you'll see there 113 is the average, and then my A1C, not A1C, but my glucose management indicator, because I can't call it A1C, right? It's calculated, is 6.0. Right, and then in target or time in range, 98% of the time. Love that, love that. And then let's take a look at my monitors. So I've got my Keto Mojo and I've got a Contour. So let's get a strip for the Contour. Get that out and get that in here. And then grab my container. I need a brown for blue for ketones and brown for blood sugar. And let's see, okay, there it is. I thought I didn't have any Lancets in there, but here's my Lancet, and I'll just grab one of those. Get the rest of these off here. And let's go ahead and open that up. So here is the glucose strip for the Keto Mojo. Get that opened and into the monitor. And then here is the ketone strip, and I'm just opening this one up so I can have it off to the side, ready to go in. Otherwise, you guys know sometimes I don't do it fast enough, and then I have to do another finger stick. All right. And then simply just open up that Lancet, get a finger, and ow, 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 that hurt a little bit more than I anticipated. But there is a drop, and it was a pretty brisk drop, so I got that out. That came out very nicely. Here is the Contour to get that started, and while those are running, let's get back over here so we can see what's going on. Let's go down. So 70, okay, look at that. 70 for the Keto Mojo, 71 for the Contour, and 70 for the Dexcom. And if I come back over here, so 64 is what the Libre says, and so Libre is the odd man out right now. But let's go ahead and quickly get over. We're going to get this strip out and get this one in for our ketones. So what do you think the ketones are going to be, right? Go ahead and drop that in the comments there. All right, so get that started. Ketones. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So 0.8. 0.8 is what our ketones are. And so let's go ahead and pull up our Keto Mojo. See if we can get that synced over. So when we talk about ketones that are less than 0.5 considered normal. And you remember if you were here for our check-in last night, our ketones were 0.2. So we're let's see, let's get rid of that. That's from yesterday. See if we can get that pulled over. So ketones were 0.2. Some reason that's not wanting to behave. Oh, you know what? It's because the monitor went off. Let's see if we can get that pulled over. Ketones were 0.2. So less than 0.5 considered normal, 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. And so we'll try that one more time here on the screen, and if not, we'll get off of that. But so if you're in a ketogenic diet, if you're in a ketone fasting mimicking diet, or you are fasting with the intention of getting into ketosis, then you want those ketones to be 0.5 or higher. Okay, and that means that my body is in beta oxidation, is burning fat, is pulling that over, and that's what we see here. So I love when that happens. Come back tomorrow when we do our complete, for some reason that's not wanting to pull over, y'all. We do our complete review of fasting so that we talk about some of these things. Okay? So we want ketones, which is where I am, 0.8. So great. Love that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's say hello to some of our community members. And first, let me go backwards a little bit because I failed to say welcome to everyone from wherever you are right now, or whatever city, state, town, village, and of course, what country you're in right now. We are glad that you have joined us and that you are here in this space. And a special shout out to our accelerator members who are out there hanging out with us. I see you. Thanks for coming through and thanks for hanging out. And let's go ahead and let's now say hello to some of our community members. And I see you. Let's pull this up. And I see Jennifer. Jennifer, what is going on, Jennifer? Thank you for coming through. She said, howdy all. And Jennifer is in Nebraska. And we've got Pam. Pam, hello, Pam. What's going on? Pam says, hello. Jennifer, hello, Pam. And of course, Gian says, hi, doctor. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Pam. Jennifer said, hi, Gian. And Gian is saying, I broke my fast. With 48 hours, end up binging. I'm still struggling and challenging when I break my fast. So 48 hours of fasting, Gian, let me give you a hand clap for that. And then Gian is guessing ketones of 0.7, turned out to be 0.8. And Jennifer was guessing 0.6. Once again, turned out to be 0.8. So just excited for what we're seeing in the community. We've got some people who, and I believe, Gian, you said that this was your 11th week of doing a 48-hour fast. So congratulations to you for making that decision. So for everyone who's out there, all of those of you who ended your fast today when we did our 24-hour check-in at our pop-up, kudos. Hey, let me give you a hand clap. Right, so good for you. Good that you're making a decision, making a choice for your health. I look forward to seeing those of you who are going to start the fast. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and let's hop over and let's get into our discussion for this evening. Just so excited to get into that. Let's go for it. So we're talking about our bodies coming online and doing for us, or continuing, I guess, for us, the thing that we started. So here in this space, at this point, at 56 hours into a fast, we've moved from the handoff. That happened before, right? We've moved into the adaptation zone. Let's talk about what's going on here. You're no longer asking, can I keep going? You're asking a better question. how do I support what's already working? Your metabolism is no longer guessing at this point. It's learned your rhythm. And that's the adaptation zone. That's where we are. When your body stops reacting to the stress of fasting and starts using that stress as a strategy, right? Where stress becomes strategy. So we're no longer at the point where we're just, oh, I got to get through. No, we've gotten through now. We're moving. And so we're moving now from transition to adaptation. Remember, we did what we said at 33 hours, right? That was the transition point, the handoff from carbohydrate-driven to fat-driven fuel. We're no longer relying on that. We are now doing what we need to do physiologically in the body so that our body is pushing us and helping us to move in the right direction. So by 56 hours, that handoff is mostly complete. And so we are talking about the structures that we've put in place that protects what motivation started. Because we were excited. We were getting into the fast. We were doing our first fast. We were doing our 11th fast. We were doing our 50 seconds fast. Right? We're doing our 104th fast, whatever it is. But we were excited to get into it. And now what's happening is the structure that we've built, the structure that we've curated, the structure that we've put around us is now taking us into that space of protecting the things that we started. Right? So we're in that space now. And glycogen is changing, right? From transition to adaptation. Our glycogen is now in charge. This is your quick sugar stores are basically empty. So the blood sugars are down, the insulin is down, and when insulin goes down, of course, glycogen comes out. Fat is being burnt, as you saw from ketones. And we're now running the show with fat. Your body isn't just switching fuel, it is settling into that new fuel. This is why many of you notice that hunger is fading. The brain fog is lifting. And a surprising sense of calm has come over you. So adaptation isn't your toughing it out. It's your body saying, I've got this now. I got you. I'm with you. We're moving. We're doing the things that we need to do, okay? So let's talk about the cellular crossover. This is the fuel shift. And so the question people ask is, what's actually changing on the inside? And let's keep this really simple. When you first start a fast, your body burns through blood sugar. And we've talked about this. Then it pulls from the stored sugar in your liver, glycogen. By the time you've arrived here, around 56 hours, your body says, okay, the sugar tank is low. Let's go to the long-term fuel. We're going to the pantry now. We're going to that place where we got the stored stuff. That's the long-term fuel. That's fat. Your fat cells release fatty acids. The liver turns those into ketones. Your brain, your muscles start to run on this cleaner, steadier fuel. The result is that you have less ups and downs, no more crashing, no more fluctuations, those crazy fluctuations that we see sometimes. We have more even focus. A calmer kind of energy is going on. You're crossing over from fuel panic to fuel confidence. And when I say panic, sometimes people will feel the dips in their energy and they begin thinking something is wrong. Well, it's the transition from the fuel that we are normally used to now to burning fat. And when we do that, we get to have an amazing, we get to have those amazing benefits that come from burning the fat. Yeah. And then the body's internal renovation crew takes over. This is our autophagy in action. Remember, autophagy is the cleanup system that the body has in place. And this is where things really get exciting, because by 56 hours, your body is not just changing fuel, it's actually changing quality. We're now in the process of cleaning up. So the body's not sending all the energy now to digest food. We've already done that. We talked about the body shunting blood away from the skin into the inner parts of the body. And now the cleanup crew is waking up, and they're out now going about and is renovating the body. Instead of just cleaning the house, it walks through and it finds broken parts, damaged proteins, old, tired cellular components. And it says, we're not keeping this. We're going to break it down. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to make it better, faster, stronger. You guys remember that? We're going to make better materials. So during this stage, old, efficient cellular parts, they get recycled. We create room for new, healthier cells. Your body is quietly upgrading itself while you're not eating. Think about that. By pausing, by taking a break, we give the body the calm and the space that it needs so that this crew can come out and begin doing what they're doing. This isn't punishment. This is renovation. And at 56 hours, your body isn't just burning fuel, it's remodeling your biology. And one of the important parts of biology has to do with those cells in the body, or those parts of cells in the body that are responsible for energy, called our mitochondria. So mitochondria biogenesis, upgrading your cellular engines. Remember, mitochondria are those places where the food that we eat, when the body gets the food and it breaks it down into its component parts, it then sends it to the mitochondria, and the mitochondria converts it into the actual energy currency in the body called ATP. Inside every cell, you have tiny engines, and those are what we call the mitochondria. They're the part that actually turns food into usable energy. And in the adaptation zone, in this space that we're in, when we've crossed into this space of adaptation, 56 hours, your body starts replacing the old engines and building new ones. Those mitochondria that are there, that are worn out, that may not be functioning well, that are misshapen, that are not being used, the body takes them, recycles them, sends them off, and says, okay, give me new ones. The old rusty engines get taken apart. New, more efficient engines get built and switched on. Not only are we cleaning up the stuff that's there, but we're taking it and we're creating better, faster, stronger ones. That means more energy from the same amount of fuel, because it's more efficient, it's newer. There's less waste in the form of inflammation and oxidative stress. And a body that runs smoother even after the fast is over is what we get. I want you to hear that last point that I made. So because we're cleaning up in the fast, when your fast is over, those same newer, better, faster, more efficient mitochondria are still there. So post-fast, we have the benefits that started in the fast. That's beautiful. And as the body is having these mitochondria that are being built, there is a constant changeover, a communication between the different hormones in your body. And this is the hormonal symphony, the hormonal harmony, and immune reset that we talk about. Fasting at this stage is not just about sugar and fat. It's also about hormones learning to play nice together. Mm-hmm. And so in the zone, once again, insulin is staying low because the sugar is going down. And when insulin stays low, the fat can keep flowing. Glycogen keeps blood sugar steady. Not too high, not too low, just right. You remember that story, right? Hey, this one is too soft, this one is too hard. Oh, this one is just right. This one is too hot, this one's too cold. This one is just right, right? That's what's going on in the body. Glycogen is that modulator that says, okay, we don't need high sugars, we don't need low sugars, we need stable glucose levels. Growth hormone is up, and that supports muscle. It protects muscle. It improves repair. It helps us to recover faster. And then, of course, our stress hormones, like cortisol, begin to settle into a calmer rhythm. And so when people say, hey, I've been fasting and I feel better, I feel calmer, it makes sense. Because you're not living in fight or flight anymore. You're living based on flow. And when you live based on flow, right, we have calm, we have lower blood sugars, because cortisol, when it's high, will go find sugar, and because it's low now, yeah, we don't feel as anxious, we don't feel as restless, irritable, discontent, because we're in the flow. And this happens as the body and the hormones are all talking and doing what they need to do together. They're playing nice together. The other thing that happens is that our immune system becomes reset. Because remember what we said. We said that our cleanup crew is going out and is picking up those broken, damaged, unused, misused, malfunctioning parts of itself. The mitochondria, but just not just the mitochondria, other kinds of proteins, enzymes, other components that are in the body's going out and is grabbing all those up. It's kind of like the old Pac-Man game, right? Just gobbling, right? It's going around and just eating all those things up. And when that happens, our immune system gets involved. A damaged piece of tissue that's there gets cleaned out, and your body has fewer trouble spots to react to. Remember what inflammation is. Inflammation, at its core, is your body sending scavengers, sending workers out to deal with a pathogen, an infection, a piece of something that's come into the body, some invader in the body. And when we have broken, damaged, unused cells, the body actually sees those as invaders. And so it mounts an inflammatory response. And so you have all these inflammatory cells that are now going to that area, and they cause problems. They cause swelling, they cause redness, hotness, right? That's where we get when you have a cut or a sore, or you have a boil. That's where that's coming from. That's an inflammatory process. It's an inflammatory reaction. And when we have those parts of the body where the body is seeing it as foreign, it sends those cells out. And that's why people will have hot, painful joints. They'll have skin issues, right? So skin rashes. But when we are in the process of autophagy, that cleanup process, that inflammation starts to dial down. And your internal defense system gets quiet, because it says, I don't have to spend all this energy now going about getting all this stuff and producing those inflammatory responses, because my cleanup crew is on the scene. They're doing what they need to do to clean the system up. This doesn't mean that fasting cures everything, but it does mean that you're building a body that is less overloaded, less chaotic, and more ready to heal. During this process is where we talk about improvement in some of those neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Because one of the things that happens in Alzheimer's is we have this buildup of these plaques. And those plaques are not normal protein. Not normal protein. And what does autophagy do? It goes up and it gobbles up proteins that are not normal. Amazing, isn't it? Simply by fasting. Well, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on past autophagy. And the structure that we put in place, that structure protects the science. There is stuff that's going on in our body. Our body is already set up. The structure is there. Not the structure, but the process is already built in. The body is designed in a certain way. And when we provide a structure that supports that, then the science that's already in there can move and work like it's supposed to. All of the beautiful biology that's going on, the autophagy, the mitochondrial upgrades, the hormonal symphony, it depends on something outside your body. It depends on you doing what you need to do to keep things in place. Your body does its best work, by the way. It does its utmost to try to keep things within a certain range. And I want you to think about this. Most of the diseases, illnesses that we have come from a response from the body. Something comes in, whether it's an infection, whether you have a cut, whether you fall, you injure yourself, the body produces a response to that. And the body's always trying to get you back to where it needs to be. And your body does its best work when it has the structure that supports all of that. So when you fast, for example, when you become predictable, the body does good work because now it begins to anticipate that. Metabolic flexibility. I can go from burning sugar, I can go to burning fat, and I can do that quickly now. I don't have to, right? Because if you're not predictable, the body's not quite sure. Okay, are we fasting? Are we getting ready to eat? Are we starving? And so that becomes a stress on the body. But as you develop a pattern of doing it over a consistency of doing it, then it becomes predictable, and that causes calm. When we hydrate well, and we talked about that. We've been talking about that for a long time. When you hydrate well, you're giving the body the liquid, the transportation mechanism that it needs to send signals throughout the body. Remember, everything that's happening in the body in terms of communication is happening through cells, it's happening through nerves, it's happening through blood. And if you're maintaining good hydration, you're keeping those pathways flowing well. If you're dehydrated, the body has to begin struggling to get the signals, get the components, get the hormones where they need to go. And your sleep has an amazing kind of ability to help us restore. When you're resting, it's another side of the coin of fasting. The body does an amazing job of repairing while we rest. Several hormones begin flowing when we rest, or they flow at their best when we rest. Your metabolism reads all of your consistency, right? The fasting, predictable pattern. The hydration, consistency. The rest with a rhythm. It reads your behavior and says, oh, I can trust this now. I know what's coming. I can safely adapt. That's why we say that structure protects what motivation starts. And it protects the biology, the science that you're building. So how do we support the shift? How do we support the shift? How do we go about doing what we need to do to support what's going on in the adaptation zone? So here are 3 simple steps that we can talk about. Number 1, hydrate on purpose. Hydrate on purpose. We just said that the body needs the liquid. It needs the fuel. Or the transportation mechanism. I shouldn't say fuel. It needs that to be able to do what it needs to do. How do you, on purpose, hydrate? Aim to drink about half of your body weight in ounces of water during your fast. In fact, most people should do that even when they're not fasting. And probably in fasting, you probably need more. So that means if you are 100 pounds, then you need to be drinking 50 ounces of water. If you're 120 pounds, you need to be drinking 60 ounces of water. So half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water. This is unless you have been told by your physician for some reason that you need to restrict your fluid intake. For people who are on dialysis, people who have heart failure, people who have kidney problems where there is some component of fluid there, people who are hyponatremic, meaning that your sodium in your body is too low, right? So there are some components, some things where your doctor will say to you, okay, you need to restrict how much you're drinking. And if that's the case, then you follow those recommendations. Other than that, most other people should be able to easily, without, when I say easily, without causing a problem, drink half their body weight in water. So how are you hydrating on purpose? And this isn't like guzzling it all at one time, right? This is saying, okay, I'm going to set up a schedule during the day where I'm drinking. I like ice, so I eat ice. It helps me hydrate. So if I eat enough ice, guess what? I'm drinking lots of water. You may have to add some electrolytes to the water, especially during longer fasts. Don't negate that. Hydration is how your body moves all the renovation or renovated debris out. All the stuff that is collecting and it's gobbling up, it has to go somewhere. And it is through the blood that the body gets rid of the waste. It is how we transport things around the body. And then you want to guard your sleep, right? So hydration on purpose, guard your sleep. Do not let anything prevent you from getting good rest. Particularly on a fasting day. Maybe your bedtime needs to be non-negotiable. Maybe it needs to be earlier. Deep sleep is when your body does a lot of repair work. We want deep restorative sleep. Not just you popping in and out of the bed. We want you to get to sleep. You want to stay asleep. We want you to sleep through the night. Then we want you to wake up in the morning refreshed. Poor sleep increases stress. Stress increases stress hormones. And stress hormones make fasting feel harder than it needs to be. So hydrate on purpose. Guard your sleep and your rest. Move gently, not frantically. Like walking, stretching, everyday movement is great. That's what we want. Move. Metabolic optimization via exercise. Jumping into intense new workouts in the middle of the fast, not what we want. Because that produces too much stress on the body. And here's the thing about doing that, right? So when you work out, it actually stimulates hunger. Why? Because you're using up energy. And your body, if you've not been exercising, it's not knowledgeable enough yet for you to just eat what you need to replenish what you just worked off. So what ends up happening is people exercise, great, they get hungry and they go eat and they end up eating a lot more than they need to. And particularly if you're fasting, now your appetite is stimulated and guess what you do? Well, you break the fast. So light walking, stretching, everyday movement Don't jump into intense workouts during a fast. We want to support adaptation. We don't want to shock the system. Right? We don't want to say, oh, yeah, we're going to jump in there. We're going to do all this stuff right now. So we want to support the shift. And we want to protect the process. Protect the process. We want to avoid problems, and we want to protect where we're going. Let's talk about how we can accidentally sabotage this beautiful stage that we're in. Here are a few traps to watch out for. Number one, overtraining during fast. And that goes back to what we just talked about in jumping into these intense workouts. Going from barely exercising to beast mode. Man, I'm fasting now, so by God, I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to take everything by storm. Not the time to do this. We don't want to do that in the adaptation zone. So that can spike cortisol, spike blood sugars, and it works against the process that we're making. Number two, sleep debt. And you start to hear a theme. It says, I'll sleep later. It sounds noble. It sounds like we are really a tough person, but missing sleep raises stress hormones, it worsens insulin, and it causes insulin resistance, and it makes your fast harder than it needs to be because the insulin now is stimulating the appetite, and you start to have these cravings. Right? So people can go into beast mode, that's over-exercising. Two, they can not rest enough, sleep debt, and they can overhydrate without electrolytes. Too much, chugging water. So they go say, okay, he said to drink water, so I'm going to take the whole, if you're supposed to be drinking 50 ounces, I'm going to drink it all at one time. Gone. And we don't, if we're not careful, if we need electrolytes, we end up drinking water without electrolytes, and that can leave you feeling weak and washed out. Think water, think structured way of drinking water, not just volume, and then you want to think electrolytes if you need them. And the other place where people can have issues is breaking the fast with a sugar bomb. Man, oh good, I did my 24, I did my 48, I did my 72, and now let's go and let's reward ourselves. But if you end all the work that you just did with a high sugar, high processed meal, you slam on the metabolic brake right when things are going well. So as you come out of the fast, is important what you do there, just as it is important what's going on in the fast. So none of these are about perfection, right? This protecting the process. None of these are about perfection. It's about protecting what you've already built. That's what we want. And so in comes our favorite, the inner design loop. Let's get the inner design loop. And so the inner design loop, remember, is that place where we have the small loop that we're going through that helps us to stay consistent. And the question is your one domino. Right? This is where we're going to bring the inner design loop in. What's going on? And remember, the inner design loop has three components: our anchor, our alignment, and our adaptation. Right, anchor, your why, right? So we're talking about the inner design loop. We're protecting that process. Why am I fasting? Is it blood sugar control? Is it weight control? Is it for more energy? Is it for more clarity? Is it for being present with my family? Is it understanding that if I do things now, I can be with them 5, 10, 20 years from now? What is my why? Take a moment and name it, even if it's just a word. Family. husband, wife, children, grandchildren, dreams fulfilled. That's when it becomes personal. The number is just a number on a piece of paper. But put a name to it. And then number 2, align. So that was our anchor. What's our thing? Alignment is, what are my actions telling me about what I say I want? Is my behavior consistent with my anchor? Are the decisions I make consistent with my anchor? What's one action today, right now, that you can take that supports the adaptation zone? What's something that you can do that supports it? Maybe it's going to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight. Maybe it's drinking one more bottle of water. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk instead of scrolling when you feel restless. Remember, small acts anchor big biology. So small things give us big changes, give us big results. So anchor, align, and adapt. That's the feedback. What did you notice in your body today? Are you paying attention? What is it telling you? Are you feeling clear? Are you feeling steady? Are you feeling stable? Or do you feel lightheaded, sweaty, dizzy? Do you feel nauseated? Do you feel as though something is off? Are you having a headache? What's the body telling you? And so the feedback that you're getting, right? The feedback is intended to give you information so that you can make a change. And also so you understand what's going on. As we did our 33-hour check-in, we talked about feeling cold. Why do I feel cold? I feel cold because the body's shunting blood away from my skin now to support the autophagy and all the other things that are going on. Not that something's wrong, but that's just an indicator that, hey, something is going right. Do I feel anxious? Do I need to make sure next time that I pre-hydrate before I get into the fast? Do I need to make sure I'm drinking electrolytes before I get into the fast? Do I feel clear? But I feel wired. Maybe I need to adjust my sleep routine. I feel groggy. That's adaptation. That's how your body and the structure that you put in place learn from each other. So we're protecting it. Right? We're protecting it. And so, what do we want to do now? Right? So that's our one domino. And so structure becomes regulation when rhythm becomes trust. And let's go ahead and let's land this. Let's bring it all together. I want you to talk to you about 3 big takeaways. Are you ready? I want you to grab your pen and paper. I want you to get your journal. And I want you to write these down. Number 1, at 56 hours, your body isn't just reacting to fasting. It's repairing. Autophagy is there, the cleanup process is going, the crew is out, and renewal is on the way. Number 1, repair replaces reaction. So the body's no longer reacting to that, but it's actually now in the process of repairing. You've given it the space now. We're no longer in the transition from glucose to fat. We're in fats burning. Ketones are out. And now the body says, okay, I'm good. Now I could spend my energy looking at the things that are there that I need to fix. It's kind of like buying a house, right? An old house that you got to fix up. initially there's intense work that's going on, and after a while you've done all the major things. You've done the job of gutting it, and you've put up the walls, and you've put up new support beams, and you've taken out this, you moved that wall, you taken that door out, you've thrown off all the junk, and now the structure is there. And then you go in and say, okay, we're going to paint this wall this color. We're going to put these fancy curtains in this room, right? So what are you doing now? You've already done the other job. Now you could spend the time beautifying it, repair and making it look good. We've already done the job of the other things. Okay, so number one, our repair replaces reaction. Number two, structure stabilizes the science. So hydration, sleep, movement, and routines that protect and enhance what fasting is doing on the inside. So we are now doing the things, we put the things in place to support what's going on the inside. It's already built to do that. We just have to protect that. And then adaptation builds metabolic trust. Now, this is a great one, y'all. Every time you do this, your metabolism says, oh, we're serious about this. I can trust this pattern. This is what we do. This is how we roll now. And that trust shows up as calm energy, clearer thinking, steadier numbers. So all of those are amazing things that are present in our health, because the body is designed to do this. The body is anxious to do this. The body wants to do this. It's waiting for you to do this. So when rhythm becomes trust, we have an amazing process that's happening. Right now, your body is learning that it can trust you. You're not just surviving the fast. We're not just white knuckling it. You're teaching your metabolism a new rhythm. When that rhythm becomes consistent, it turns into self-regulation. When that happens, we get better hunger signals. We get better energy. We get better resilience. And when we can do that, then we are well on our way to doing all we can do to be healthy, to be around. Long, healthy life. That's our goal. So, what we want to do is we want to live limitlessly. So design the life, build the health, live limitlessly. We'll keep walking together. We'll keep walking through this process in this space, day after day, as we are in the process of living a limitless life. I get excited about this because remember the goal: long, healthy life, so we can have success here, just like we have in the other parts of our lives. Success in our health comes from structure, comes from consistency, comes from blueprints. And here at 56 hours, we're no longer just reacting to stuff. We're living in rhythm, and that rhythm comes to flow. We continue walking through this path. Join us again for our next episode as we talk about how we maintain the things that we've built and how we stay consistent so that you can be around and I can be around for a long, healthy time. All right, y'all. What an amazing idea that our body is already designed to function in this way. And we just have to give it what it needs to do that. Because if we do that, then we are supporting all the processes that are already built in. Right? We don't have to reinvent. We don't have to recreate. All we have to do is support. And as we continue fasting, that's what we're doing. We're giving it the space to create and to be and to do the things it needs to do. We continue our pop-ups tomorrow. We'll do our, well, not pop-up, we'll do our 72-hour fasting review as we talk about how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast, and how to break the fast. You get to see what I eat for the first time after 72 hours. That's our full fasting review. Remember, everything that we do is based on our Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate so you understand what your body is doing and what's going on in the body. We empower with tools, structure, checklists, the different protocols that we have. And we encourage with the community so you don't have to walk it alone. That's what this is all about. So you show up, you plug in, and we get the benefit of walking together. If you want to do something, you can do it by yourself. But if you want to be successful, if you want to be consistent, if you want to maintain it over the long haul, do it in community. And that's where we are right now. We are structuring our way to better metabolism, better energy, and truly a limitless life. So structure protects what motivation starts. That's our goal. That's where we want to be. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said, as we do our full review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, get through the fast successfully, and how to break the fast, end the fast. You get to see what I eat for the first time in 72 hours. Join us for that. And then on Saturday, 9 p.m. Central, we will have a video from the vault. Sunday morning, This Week in Review at 6 a.m. Central. And then on Monday, we'll be back right here for Dwain Woode MD Live as we talk about the next installment of our Blueprints for Health series. Come join us. We start another fast next week. So those of you, by the way, who are starting your fast, you started your fast today, come join me tomorrow and break the fast with me, right? Come let us know. Let us see what you're eating. Send us a picture. Send us a comment. Come join us as we do that tomorrow as we end our fast for this week. Then, keep the rhythm going. Keep the structure going. Keep living limitlessly. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. Go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I'm here because I want to help you have success in your health, just like you're having in other spaces. So you can show up for the things that are so important in your life, your community, your family, your friends, your dreams. We want to be healthy and we want to be around for a long time. You don't need superhuman strength. You need a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow. And you need the support to keep showing up and to keep being consistent. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the MOVE campaign and then we'll be out of here. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you in the community. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started.